Hello, everybody. I hope you are good. I hope you are keeping safe. Welcome again to chess class. You remember that chess class is the class where thinkers are raised and leaders are made. Chess class is the class where thinkers are raised and leaders are made. All right. And of course, remember we've been looking at our problem solving series, and we're looking at the theme that we've captioned being proactive rather than being reactive in problem solving. All right. We are in the thinker's world. Until you are able to solve a problem, you don't have a place. Why? Because we are in the thinker's world. Only those who are thinking are permitted to be rising. There is no promotion without problem solving. So all we're doing is that we are helping ourselves to be a problem solver because we are in the thinker's world. You are not able to solve a problem if you are not a thinker. And I told you that you don't stop at thinking if you want your result to be great. You move on to the level of reasoning, and that is the place of your mind. Reasoning takes place in the mind. That is where you look out for the options, for the alternatives, the better way, the best way of doing things to get a better result. So you don't stop at thinking. Now, the proper coordination of your mind and your brain now guarantees the sound decisions that you take. And your good decisions is what guarantees the right result that you get. And like I always tell you, it is result that cancels out insult. If you don't want insult, then get result. But you can't get result if you are not a thinker, you are not someone that reasons, and you can't take good decisions. You can't get result. But if you can concentrate, you can think, you can reason, and then you can take good decisions, then that guarantees you good result. And then it cancels out insult. So we are in a or the thinker's world. We are in the thinker's world. So until you think to solve problems, you don't have a place. So we have been helping ourselves to be result oriented so that we get results in everything we do, and then that cancels out any insult. All right. So we've been looking at being proactive to think ahead of time, to put solutions into problems before the problem comes. Thinking ahead, to see ahead, to solve problems ahead of time. That is what it means to be proactive. And then to be reactive means you are reacting to the problem after the problem has come, trying to solve the problem in the midst of the problem. That is what it means to be reactive. You are reacting to the problem. All right. And we said it's better to be proactive rather than being reactive. All right. So we've been looking at being proactive rather than being reactive in problem solving. So welcome again to chess class, the class of leaders. All right. Today, I want us to look at the efficiency of the queen. The efficiency of the queen as we relate that to the king. So very quickly, we're going to do a demo on the board and we see how efficient the queen is. All right. How efficient the queen is. Okay. So now let's see. You remember that the queen is 9 points. All right. And inside of this queen, you have the rook, you have the bishop, and you have the pawn. So the rook 5, the bishop 3, and the pawn 1. That makes 9. That's what made the queen. The rook, the bishop, the pawn are all in the queen. So that means 5 plus 3 plus 1 gives 9, and that's what make the queen 9. So inside of the queen you have the rook, inside of the queen you have the bishop, inside of the queen you have the pawn. All right, so if you know how the rook moves, you know how the queen moves. If you know how the rook captures, you know how the queen captures. If you know how the bishop moves, then you know how the queen moves. If you know how the bishop captures, then you know how the queen captures, because the queen can move like the bishop, can capture like the bishop. If you know how the pawn moves, then the queen can move like the pawn. If you know how the pawn captures, then the queen can capture like the pawn. All right, so I'm going to show you very quickly how this is done. You remember that if you want to move your rook, all right, you first play what is blocking the rook. Why? The rook cannot move unless and except the path is cleared. And you know the rook moves horizontally, vertically. It moves up and down and to the sides, right and left, horizontally and vertically. Now that is how the rook moves. Now let's assume I play this. All right, or let's say I move this way 2 steps. All right, okay, now you know your rook moves horizontally. You can move up this way. All right, so also your queen. Now look at this, I can decide to play this way. All right, that is what is blocking it. All right, now you remember that your knight can do I can decide to use my knight. I can decide to use my pawn to take the bishop. You can see the bishop move down diagonally. That is how the bishop moves. But I can take this guy up. All right. Now, my queen can move like the rook straight up, and it can also capture like the rook straight up. Can you see? So I can move this. Can you see that? That way. All right. That is how my queen moves, like the rook. All right, now you remember that my bishop also moves this way. All right, you know my bishop moves this way diagonally, so the queen also can move diagonally. So I can decide to move my queen diagonally this way. See, can move diagonally this way. My queen can move diagonally that way. All right, now my queen can also move, you know, vertically. But let's assume I play this guy this way. Let's assume I play this guy this way. No. Let's assume I play this guy this way. This way. All right. Okay. All right. Now, let's say I play this guy this way. All right. Okay. Now, you also know that my rook moves horizontally, so I can decide to move my rook this way to take this guy. Okay. All right. All right. Now you know that my rook can also move vertically, so I can decide to take this guy. All right, I can decide to take this guy off. Okay. All right. All right, now let's assume I come this way. All right, you remember that's how the rook moves that way. Now let's assume my queen moves, you know, my queen can move diagonally like the bishop. So I can move diagonally like the bishop to get this guy. All right. I told you must look ahead of time. So I can come here without nothing taking me. Okay. So now let's assume I move my queen again diagonally. You can see diagonally backward this way to h2. Let's assume I come here. All right. Let's assume I go there. Now you remember my rook can move this way. All right. Horizontally, you can decide to take this guy. No, 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 no. You can decide to take this guy. I want to take this guy. No. No. Okay. I want to take this guy off. See? All right. So now let's see. I move this way down. All right. You see that? Now you can see the movement, the coordination of the movement of the moves of the rook and the queen. Why? Because the queen moves like the rook and it can capture like the rook. Now my king can move like the queen just one step. So that means my queen can move like the bishop one step diagonally. My queen can move like the rook vertically, horizontally, but one step. And it can capture the same way. That is how the queen moves, and that is how it captures, like the rook, like the bishop, and like the pawn. Thank you so much for this class. I'll see you again next time. Thank you.